Paul Ryan, an early exit, obviously raises the specter of another swamp creature right behind him, filling his void. So I don't think that's necessarily a great thing. But I guess the question to you is, given what we've seen transpire with this discharge petition regarding DACA, given what happened to the Farm Bill, does the Speaker still have control of the Republican caucus of the House?
Well, he does, and what we've seen is some folks really going off the camp here. It's a minority of Republicans that are pushing for this discharge petition because, you know, they feel like they're in districts that favor giving amnesty to DACA, and you know, they're very close, within 5 votes of getting the discharge petition. I will say this: if they do get it and it comes to the floor, probably something you and I would not agree with is likely going to pass the floor. Whether it gets through the Senate, that's another question. But I can tell you this, the President has already said if you send something that doesn't deal with chain migration or ending the visa lottery program or provide border security, I will veto it. So in the end, it's going to be a futile attempt by some of the folks here is taking up a lot of our time and dividing the conference. But, you know, I'm still trying to parse out, is it because of, you know, Speaker Ryan being in a so-called lame duck term? I think he's doing it the right way by announcing early on, and the leadership elections are pretty divisive, and so we do have some momentum. And I think the bigger problem is not cracking down on some folks that go against the Republican platform, the conservative platform, when they're actually serving here as Republicans.
Yeah, I think it's because they're trying to save their own necks, these Republicans, and they want to get reelected. So they can go to voters in their district and say, hey, you know, I'm soft on amnesty, or however they're going to frame it for their voters to try and win votes. Discharge petition, without getting too far into the weeds, Congressman, how does it work?
Well, basically, it's forcing a bill to the floor without going through the committee process, you know, without going through Rules Committee, and without leadership calling it up. It's basically 218 members saying, I want to bring a particular bill to the floor, and they're going to bring it to the floor, and it will get a vote. Now, what they have proposed is what's called Queen of the Hill. Bring up 4 bills, and whatever the 4 bills are, the bills that get the most votes, that whatever bill gets the most votes then comes to the final passage of the bill. And of course, with all the Democrats siding with a minority, but a few of the Republicans here, more than likely you're going to see some type of amnesty pass out of the House. I don't think that's going to make it through the White House. But the idea is, let's bring up another bill first. Let's bring up a bill that is more conservative, one that we all agree on, or at least the majority of us agree on, that we can actually pass, something that fits within the president's agenda. I think we can do that without having it to be forced. The only reason it hasn't come up yet is because we're still working on what is the sweet spot to get 218 votes on the House. It's something that's within the president's agenda.
Right. When you refer to Queen of the Hill, this is, I believe there are 4 different immigration bills that'll come to the floor. And the Goodlatte bill is one of the 4, is it not? That's not I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it's probably the best of the 4?
No, but it is. It is by far the best of the 4. It basically cleans up the system we have now without doing a major reform. I mean, it does fund for the wall. It does end chain migration, end the visa lottery program. It does a lot of the things we've been advocating for. No, it isn't perfect, but, you know, this is a world where it's really hard to get perfect in your first go-around. But the problem is none of the Democrats are going to vote for that Goodlatte bill because it doesn't provide citizenship for DACA and the entire 1.8 million. And the thing is, those who are supporting the discharge petition, they're going to say that theirs doesn't provide amnesty, which most people are okay with giving some type of limited legal status, not citizenship, but legal status, to the DACA, those we consider DACA here, but theirs actually does provide amnesty. So what they're saying and what they're promoting in their bills are 2 different things. But, you know, the Goodlatte bill would be one of those, but the problem is, in the Queen of the Hill, it's going to be which one gets the most votes. And right now we're still struggling trying to get just 218 votes to bring Goodlatte to the floor, which is coming next month. You know, win, lose, or draw, it's going to come to the floor before the discharge petition. So at least that's what leadership is planning. So the idea at this point is find those that are, you know, on one side or the other, is what can we add to strengthen it? What do we need to change to bring some of the other folks on board to, you know, get at least a good bill to do some of the reforms we need to do?